Hi guys, and welcome back to another review and wrestling review of the annual. This is a raw review from last night. A tribute to AJ Styles career, so we start things off with going for another. And it basically says to get the Abe's and cool enough off well I be celebrating the as who's in an AJ style who's he would then go on to talk about his career killer, his killed everyone's favourites, Goldberg, John Cena, and of course, just Styles in general was the best one in the company. Then Adam Pearce comes out and he says that's enough of good for nothing. You come out here and you disrespect AJ Styles once again. I knew you were going to do that. So I sent these gentlemen out as 40th from the ring, and then Unfa says, I'm even for my own sake, not because or or because you told me to. And then as he's all even dragging he attacks him and then the security step in to try and separate and dragging and going for but you know whoever was the roll continues. Adam Pearce then orders the security to get dragging here from Gunfa are and the two are escorted um out the arena but not before Adam Pearce says are you happy now you've got what you wanted now you've Odero Odd has a stare down with Gunfa then a road walks to the ring. He says his catchphrase, he says, so do I, and tell what you want to talk about more. Um, he says, I already know what you want to talk about. You're here to honor the career of AJ Styles, one of the greats and one of the great gentlemen in the industry. Then he's interrupted by the Vision Os they interrupt all humans, ladies and gentlemen. Catchphrase Austin Theory jumps on them like and says don't disrespect my eyes, man. I hate this. Yes, I'm ashamed to be from my door until Hogan called and says, won't feel won't feel ashamed. It's awful. Um, and they basically come down and they want to already cover up in the roads or roads then says he's get back or roads says he's get back up, but Hogan Hall says that he's going to win the chamber. Or Woods actually says this and has something to say about it. Out comes Jay, also accompanied by Jimmy. You then get the other two participants in the triple threat qualifier for the chamber. You get the original El Grande, and you get and you get Ronson, who's already at ringside. This is a tricky match to actually get into because obviously about maybe halfway through the match, or Ronson read or it's up and um um and here's his tricep, so he's out of the match unfortunately, but one of these five attempts across to break up the cover he wanted off to uh, so he was outside for the remainder of the match. Other two take over or so or the then saw talking to midway after the match after the injury, and like you can see him say something to Jay-Z or possibly and Jay-Z also in that he has to work so on the so yeah, there's a good back and forth from Eric. I know, but ultimately Jay hits his bell. Ashton and Ericano and gets the pin. Obviously, Seth Rollins will be back for our WrestleMania, so the obvious of it now, because they're going to have to, unfortunately change work again with the vision and have um and have a contingency effort. The obvious route is to do Seth Rollins versus Austin Theory as the mask and I think is still relevant. Obviously, Austin Theory is the original mask man and Seth Rollins is rumored to be the asthma and and it's revealed. So obviously they'd have to do some sort of pivotal like that. But in terms of the vision, what point do you what point do you say this is over because everybody's getting injured? Or, you've had Seth Rollins injured, you've had Ron Burry, and now you've had Ronson Reed get injured, but obviously the next course of action is to have Austin Theory versus Seth Rollins in a revenge match. He's basically just want to get now for both Reed and the Baron break. Uh, so in the bar, in the bar, I, you see various old agents for um AJ Styles career, the monster about P.T. Williams, you see you see Jeremy Borash, you see Frankie Kazarian, um, you see, you see some more recent superstars like the MFT specifically. You see, Tonga Wa and Tamatonga shaking hands with the Al was an Anderson. We get a slight sort of what a reunion as a good but others gal was an Anderson show up in the shake hands with the girl as a destiny each channel looks ecstatic to see the good or such a cool sort of moment. So then you get the choice with organ X Dominic Mysterio is out. He introduces himself as the greatest intercontinental and triple mega champion of all time. He says you're in the presence of the greatest Royal Rumble winner ever. Organ. He owes out Jake Cargill and Stephanie McAir for the um, championship decision and the more of Organ says to Stephanie, you caught me off guard the last week with the world. He said, um, Emma I've actually said she didn't realise that she would be so privileged to be here and get all the opportunities she's had. She never realised that Stephanie had to skip acting or to get to where she is. Um, and she says it's inspiring, but of course of course it's all ruse. She said that being said, she has a bit of a steer down with um J- AIDS, but then she does a sharp and hits Stephanie the elbow of the rifle on in the head, and it sets up the championship match for WrestleMania. So yeah, that is all taken care of. So the winner of the in shame or Charlie and JJ Harga for the WWE Women's Championship. You had Organ hyphen off to go and challenge Stephanie. So the reveals happen. So then we get to the next match in the card. Eyes, it's not active. Versus I've seen This match was very short. Um, it obviously, it, it obviously breaks down into Raw on the outside Natalia, which is also going to be thrown into the crowd, but she kicks off Maxine Dupree, and the kick actually throws her into the ring, Austin knocks her out. The referee stops the match, and you have to actually And you have to actually ask the question, where the hell was this feud even when you've had the double out last week, and now you have the referee stoppage, and Maxine has improved. So I don't really see where the heat's coming from if she does have backstage heat, but as I've said, she's improved. The crowd actually seemed to enjoy her. So why the hell have they just decided to go off on Maxine the Pride woman, and they have this Natalia. I figured on after yeah, she's known hasn't really done all that much, and they're never gonna push Natalia seriously again for one of the major championships. I just don't see how this benefits Maxine. Um, so yeah, I'm a bit down on this figure. It's not particularly very good. And uh, you, you see, and back, you see, and you see Adam, you're talking to the auction assistant. He says, what the hell is this? Right, and back here, all, she says, all this sent it back to you. He said, this has been sent back, or, or this has been sent back to, oh, he did. So Adam yes, and says, do you know what? Or send it to Chicago for the elimination chamber. We'll open it together. Now, some people say it's a age for the giraffe. Other people say it's house soon. I happen to actually think it's a second option because if it was a giraffe age, it would be kind of anticlimactic, and the Anhausen has been rumored the past several weeks. So yeah, that's so that's what I think then alright, and you'll probably get your Anheusen debut, and I don't think it's generic. Oh, as some have suggested as well, because Jericho coming out of a box doesn't really do anything. Or Jericho, what would have to be somebody like Anhausen, who's actually a really was friends with CM, of CM Punk. Um, but yeah, um, but yeah, guys, that's what I think. Right, we get a stare down of over Emmy and Arnold. Rusev over still to me his decision about or SmackDown, but I think you would have gotten indication and how, and I think that'll be the first match over has to get into confrontation, and then they both said that they were on to get over Adam Pearce says not, and this is about AJ Styles, or Rusev says okay, let's all watch it tonight, or AJ, and yeah, I enjoyed the aspect of it, that we're having a confrontation, and then we get a retake promo of, then we get a retake promo of a, a hyping up on actual of AJ. He, she says, what is AJ on except hold the butter for I should doesn't hold the candle to me. He there'll only be another aged tiring, and certainly not the best AJ to retire this week. Yeah, that was a great time. Um so then um so the and it sets that up. Then you get Rock is are out with Heyman, and Heyman actually um and Heyman in actually is there used to be two in events, the Undertaker was undefeated streak in the title match. Um, Rock is or after or after he anchored to the streak became the in a event here. He but Rock Lesnar is for or WrestleMania. Is there anything insane enough to take the challenge and make history? But Rock Lesnar are um absolutely you've got these absolutely you've got these the it's um so we're going to take the challenge, and and then you get enter segment And obviously, yeah, I think it's only be L in night that takes the challenge, and I'm not too thrilled by that concept because as they seem to still have a sort of hard on for Burrow or Gillespie, or even though he's exhausted everything creatively, and having a favourite wrestle or being served up to Dr. Esther or would be an absolute discovery is but yeah that's still just our there's also our Uber family taking up the challenge but the early night unfortunately the early night um unfortunately has a bit more traction um in the book in the can you see the judgment they have a pep talk with Rick Rodriguez JD McDonough talks if but Al Ari says sorry I wasn't here for you in Belfast but um I see as a or 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 I hope it doesn't come to bit Inez and actually he says to Jade it's okay or others I and thanks for but I need to I'm myself and Jade is like okay well but the Omnica actually he says that he's got a title uh, he's got a title match against Penta next week and can he count on and can he count on fans what but for and actually he says to um good um but I myself am tempted or up and stand in your own feet. So they have a bit of tension, and I think that'll kind of be your WrestleMania eventually after the punk stuff is over with. If, and but then you get a pretty tape a pre-tape Romo fan by Al or talk and about how it's been a decade since he's been a world champion or if he didn't get injured or if he or if he you'd see him on oh, except like but better than what he put himself up in there and he basically mentioned Finn Balor or he mentioned the Roman Reigns and that is it for CM Sure response not very in depth guys um of a dissection, but that is all put on actually. He said, um, so in the um so in the back you see the about on Vincent's and Samara public and remember the name of trending Yaman eyes, but then you see but then you see the new they show up Ophik and Stenchal and Jay's Java on Evans and it's the third electronic art, but before all that you see Chuck come out. I was talking to Afik L. She asks him how you get if he learn about the chamber actions. Day he said the door enters a giddy. It's a tea. It's got the best chicken answer, and I'm initial walking my way. In per stairs, and I'm going upp that chilla I can sa something go on to this any and in of it and it actually sounded like a baby face Romo is getting good at the actions at the moment, so turning them for is and having them for is Jaro who I'd not be opposed I'd not be opposed to that. It's a new act that we haven't seen before, and yeah, I'm both eyes and both eyes have a lot of charisma, chair, and really, so yeah, that is kind of my actual one, but I don't think that'll happen because I think my engagement I'll see it as a bit too early. Eh, Um so then so the and you get so the and you get Giovanna Evans for Elsie's Elsie's over Einstein you get you get a Toyo or Tim or everything he says the things I he um he kinda interrupts interference from Grace from all are and Xavier Woods at ringside. Giovanni Evans hits it OG at Aaron Kingston. Basically, yeah, tune up match 1, 2, 3. He offense from both guys is pretty good, but the right decision as a tune up match. The um and you get J. Cargill's response with Cargill. Eh, uh, um, she then um she she and actually says that all have actually made the right decision made the right decision. He hearing against the definitely era now will hate my acha. I'll enjoy. She said, though you forgot to me mention all my home Ishma and so she ran through. And then that was it for the response, and then the main event, um, um, and and the main event, guys, look at how the Jerry gets defeated. I is saying ask, ah, and um, ask, no, I saying use eyes or um to over 5 emanations in but so basically yeah one to so Kylie saying there's going on over 5 so she can help ask similar 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 assistance in or Offridge and the guys and my eel on the outside the L and it was up to the elder to the guys to hit the hanger but all three competitors had a decent enough account but um but it was X's or the killed Jerry gets his gunny and the men's chamber match to set up Jake Argyle with Elsie's mother killed and Jerry gets a big power house match and it could be the year that film. So you've got two powerhouses in here. I think it'll be the choice of the two you do will have to finish together. And then the chamber you do have Alexa, uh, and you have Yana James up. So yeah, um, so yeah, that's yeah, so that's a chamber match. Off chamber matches are now eyes for for a Saturday or very early Sunday morning, depending on what part of the world you're from. It'll be early morning from ye and so that was yeah, so that was not too bad. I'd obviously like to see you get in the chamber, but obviously they did it to freshen things up. Um, except and things like that nature and the end around of the show ages that I use ages that I use comes out and so the performers that is so he thanks the fans and he thanks his family in particular his wife or her since I have been on the road. He wants to be a full-time father. He runs down some of his greatest uh, opponents in and accomplishments and all the rest of his along the way. All the promotions in and then everybody they comes out to uh, and pay tribute to his year. Um, as I've said, I used to have a few TNA agents so like as of on a ranking is Iran and also you have I know so you have people always joining in celebrations you have home horse and you have several others early night with yeah so it's a very good already of people to pay tribute to career. Then you get Undertaker out the eighth one at the American Badass actually. He, he comes down on his like his run he have unfinished business and and he says well like then um I'm now officially inducted into the into 26 Hall of Fame. I have to actually say I say we and all out into all the thank you use um all the videos of some of his DNA geez, it's very sort of short spell and WCW was in kill. We did some New Japan stuff from within yeah. So yeah, no experience actually yeah and congratulations to AJ Styles in the Hall of Fame induction. I do kind of wish he could have had a couple more matches, but ultimately that's the way we keep or and he has his reasons and I respect him. But like as I said, I think it easily in another 12 months wrestle and he hadn't lost this. Even the matches he had to have win or I felt or high over and like the tag matches he had to have Dragon he also had already them actually had to have seen and half was Finn on I know see what I did your eyes and after um and after I'm gonna get um and after guys I'm gonna have this sort or an 8 out of 10 a fantastic tribute to AJ Styles, and that's what this show was end order. And I'd just like to thank AJ Styles personal, because he's been one of my favourites to tune into for over a decade in the various promotions. And as I've said, I thought it was one of the same or the rest what shit uh so Scotland and Gal as good the Hydro finally I got to see AJ Styles or so a couple of years ago. At the Hydro is one of the best of all time, and some of the videos he had, so, some of the video, thank you, he had to from the and they had several killer my accident. Yeah, you had you, had the road footage of AJ talking to on you even had a Roman Reigns every kind of everybody in the company, and it was well reduced. And yeah, Phil, it is the Hall of Fame induction, and I would expect ENA to follow suit because he was one of the TNA originals that even sold on TNA's first show back when it was an NWA killer a pay-per-view guys. So yeah, but a history for all of you here. And I would have to actually say to TNA as well, guys, you have to put this guy in your Hall of Fame as well. He helped start you up essential for wrestling content perspective. So yeah, I think TNA should follow also maybe New Japan as well, and ROH as well, because they helped elevate those companies. But yeah, TNA especially, it's over to but yeah, other than but like she subscribe guys, and I'll see you for the next review of Ericsson.